Welcome, low ego action heroes. It's Debbie Levitt from deltacx. Oh, I'm already getting applause. Thank you, Charlene. We're a full service CX and UX agency, and Friday is our short stream for Deb Reacts to stuff you've sent in. I've got 4 things people have sent in, and then I'm all caught up. So y'all better send in more stuff, which you can send to deltacx.link/reaction. Send that in 24 hours a day, and I'll get it on the list of things to look at. So we're going to jump right in since I was trying to keep this stream short. So let's see if I can load up the right windows. No, that's the wrong window. One woman show. Okay. Hopefully you're looking at my screen, which is an incognito browser, and the chat room and me down in a corner. I'm hoping that's what you're seeing, or I'm going to be very sorry later. Yes. Okay. So somebody sent in this post, which went up on LinkedIn 2 or 3 weeks ago. And I'm going to start our countdown. So I know to spend around 2 minutes in each. That's why I'm listening for the gong that my timer is up. So this was somebody who had posted that they had signed an offer letter to join Tesla, but then Tesla said, oh, wait, we've got to push back your start date 2 weeks. That seemed fine. But then right before the start date, they decided the position wasn't needed and they weren't going to follow through on their offer. And this person was obviously frustrated and experiencing negative feelings, though I don't want to claim to know what their feelings were. And they said, I didn't fail a background check. I didn't do anything that would cause the company to do this to me. And I gave notice at my other company. So here I am job searching again. Now with 58,000 likes and 3,000 comments, I'm hoping this person did find another job. But as for somebody wanting me to react to this, it's great if you could all mention what specifically you want me to react to, because certainly I'm not happy that Tesla did that to them. I understand that if they're changing their organization, it makes more sense to cut the new guy than the people who already work there. I don't like this either way. But at the same time, who can say why organizations do anything? I once had a contract job, and it was supposed to last like 6 months or something like that. And it was going perfectly well. I'd been working there about a month. And on Sunday at noon, I got a call from the recruiter who had placed me in the job. And he goes, your last day was Friday. And I'm like, 2 days ago? And he says, yeah. And I said, did I do something wrong? Were people unhappy with my work? He said, no, people like you. They like your work. They just decided they didn't have any budget for the position, and contractors get cut before full-time employees. So you're gone. And so on the one hand, I understand companies doing this, but I would never be happy that a company did this. I don't support this. This seems negative, desperate, disorganized. Kayleen says, I submitted this because some people thought this was a fair decision by Tesla because offer letters can be ended by either side at any time, and I wasn't sure what you thought about that. Offer letters can be ended at any time. I don't think they're legally binding. I don't think if you sign one, you have to show up to the job. And since most employment in America is at will, meaning that an employer can fire you for pretty much any reason at any time, they can hypothetically fire you before you show up. So I think the word fair is a little bit tough, because is this fair? Maybe. Is it legal? Sure. Are people sitting around a room going, we have empathy? You don't have empathy. Is this when something is bad for the candidate experience, it can often be a huge reflection on that company. So this is a bad candidate experience, but this is probably someone who will never buy a Tesla and might not even apply again, and trust is broken. And it's just a reminder that corporations are corporations, and whatever anybody thinks of Tesla or Musk or whatever, they're just going to do what corporations do. And if they decide that they don't need this person's position anymore, they'll just fire him. So Yeah, Solomon says he most likely won't be a promoter of their brand in the future. Sure. And certainly with the amount of times this post has been seen, it's something for people to consider. But, that people post negative things about companies all the time. I mean, there's endless negativity about Facebook. I can't think of a company with more negativity around it. And yet people are still like, yay, congratulate me. I'm going to go work at Facebook. And I'm waiting for that LinkedIn reaction that has a face that's like, oh my God, don't do it. So not too sure what to react to here. So is it fair? I don't know. That feels like an emotional reaction to a business decision. It's a legal business decision. It's an unfortunate business decision. It's a business decision I hope someone did not take lightly. I hope this person just wasn't a number on a page, but, chances are they were. So I think it's fair in the sense that it's legal. But it certainly seems poor candidate experience, disorganized company who can't figure out if they need this job or not, and things like that. So I would say that's my reaction. Thanks for sending it in. This one is, I have a private browser, so I'm going to pretend I consent to everything. This one is a 2018 article from Harvard Business Review, and I'm surprised how much junk they post. I really don't automatically assume it's quality just because it says Harvard. And this one says why design thinking works. And again, we already ripped design thinking to pieces in episode 108. Check that out in the live stream podcasts playlist. And so you can always look at that. I also want to remind everybody that today is the last day to fill out the giveaway. If you'd like to be entered for the free giveaway, deltacx.link/giveaway, I will buy the winner the Information Architecture Polar Bear book. So I'll be picking that winner this weekend. Today's your last day to enter. Please only enter once. And make sure you live somewhere where the Information Architecture book can get to you. So quick point there. That was a little reminder I had to myself going off. And so let's start the timer and let's take a look at this. So why design thinking works, albeit 3 years ago. So it might be different than how we see it today. So there was a 7-year study looking at 50 projects, not just UX evidently, that they're claiming design thinking has the potential to do for innovation what total quality management did for manufacturing. So, okay, it's got potential. Well, sure, lots of things have potential. I'm sure design thinking has potential as well. So here we're talking about innovation. And I'm really amazed at how much people associate innovation with design thinking. And I'm amazed that they don't do more associating innovation with critical thinking or research and development teams. It looks like we've gone from thinking that innovation is something a research and development department works on for months to something we can just bang out in a week with a cool little framework and exercises. So it's lower cost, but it's not necessarily lower risk. So I think this is incorrect, because remember, if we do a design thinking exercise and we brainstorm ideas and we vote on one in a workshop and then we run with that idea, that's high risk, because that's something that we didn't yet vet with users or test on users. So design thinking I actually see as higher risk because it's not user-centered design, it's vote by workshop. So I think we have to be careful there. It's certainly low cost. Lots of things that are speed over quality are definitely low cost. I'll give you that one every time. But I would say it's higher risk. Employee buy-in, I'll give you that too. People love fun games and workshops. And if you tell them that they get to stop working for some hours or days and do fun stuff, I bet most people will buy in on that. Charlene says, I recently came across something called user-centered design thinking. They have double diamond followed by iterate and test. Doesn't Double Diamond already have iterate and test? I saw somebody trying to say, I think it was Safe Agile was trying to say design thinking. They showed Double Diamond, but then tried to make it seem like the research wasn't as important. So yeah, we can't decide what to name anything. Like, why not just call it user-centered design? You don't need user-centered design thinking. We already have user-centered design. The beauty of structure. Experienced designers complain design thinking is too structured and linear, but managers on teams aren't designers. So who are these innovations teams, and why aren't they research and development? Why did we fire all the people doing research and development and come up with an innovation team? I find that I can never get the answer to that. I still don't know why people want to fire amazing researchers and futurists and people who tend to know what's coming and where things are going, and instead let's just do a structured short workshop. It's why everything's garbage now. So anytime you're trying to change people's behavior, start them off with a lot of structure so they don't have to think. Oh, they work at Facebook. Yeah, so in general, I'm out of time trying to keep this short, but as you can see, I think at this point we've said enough about design thinking on this channel that you can certainly look through this and put on your own critical thinking hat, and you can take a look at this and decide what makes sense here and what doesn't. But ultimately, I find that whatever tends to make sense from these things is not germane to design thinking. It's not like, oh man, I really love this idea and technique, but crap, I can only do it if I do design thinking. Usually the things about design thinking that are powerful and work are things that exist in other places, like critical thinking, user-centered design, research, customer centricity. So I'll move on, but that's the way that I see that. Interestingly, I was also sent this website. This is design thinking. I'm not sure design thinking went into this website because this is a very busy bunch of tiles with a lot of social whatever, where it's got 5 tweets, 6 Google Plus, y'all. Google Plus. I mean, where's friend feed here? Where's MySpace? So these March, July, that's got to be last July, almost a year ago. So I'm not sure that this site is being kept updated, but let's give it the 2-minute countdown and see what we can find. Design thinking is hard to grasp. Well, maybe because it can't decide what it is. Many discussions focus on finding a definition. Yes, we cannot figure out what it is. See episode 108. This site takes a different stance. We look at what organizations are doing when they say they practice design thinking. Okay. So I tried to take a look at our sponsors, because wouldn't you like to know who's behind this site? I wonder if somebody who makes money at design thinking is behind this site. So I clicked on our sponsors and I got page not found. So that didn't give me a good feeling. And I also wonder if this website is even being kept up by anybody. So now we've got to go to who is Domain Tools. This is designthinking.net, and see if we can see who owns it or if it's private. Yeah, Google Plus was discontinued a long time ago. This is privately owned, so we don't even know who owns this domain. We don't know who these people are. We'll try to poke around a little bit. Hasso-Plattner Institute for Digital Engineering. Who dat? Well, they sure love stuff in boxes. Well, they seem to be engineers, so why are they doing this design thinking thing, and did anyone apply design thinking to this website? So, time is up. So, I'm not too sure who this is or why they're doing this. I do think that it doesn't seem to be kept up. And of course, IBM's been pushing design thinking for years. They have a whole cottage industry around it. They're trying to almost copy the agile model of all these levels of trainings. But so as far as I can tell, it looks like this website has maybe 20 case studies. but I still don't see the conclusion, because the whole idea is to tell me what design thinking is based on looking at how people are doing it. But then, like, where's that conclusion? Can you sum that up for me? Why this site? Who we are? Yeah, I don't get it. I don't get it. I'm my gut says this is a website where a bunch of people wanted to try to say they were the first to do something and put their names on a thing. I kind of don't get this, but you make the call. Take a look at it yourself. Charlene says there's a reason people don't, because if they don't update it, they won't know they're not active. Yeah, this doesn't look terribly active. Do they newsletter, sitemap, imprint? So based on their WordPress, this is the most recent article. Does it have a date? No. No. So yeah, just lost. There's a date on the previous page. No, I don't see it. Anyway, I'm done with these people. Good luck to them. This one needs a little extra time. This was a Reddit that we were discussing over in the Slack channel. And this was where people learned that when they canceled their membership to the Interaction Design Foundation, all of their certificates basically went away. All the links to their certificates were now, I guess, dead or deprecated. And that was shocking. So number one, if you are taking IDF courses, make sure you are downloading copies of your certificates, because evidently these will go away when you stop paying, which I believe is inappropriate and a bit of a scam. So let's run the countdown and let's see what's going on here. So people are giving this person some advice on what they can do, download your certificates. And some people said the certificate really doesn't matter. It's gaining the knowledge and using the knowledge. I agree with that too. Very few hiring managers are like, show me your Interaction Design Foundation certificate. So if you care about having the certificate, make sure you've saved it or downloaded it in some way before you cancel paying, because it looks like these go away, which is, again, uncool. Here's people saying that they are super unethical. And unfortunately, I've had some interactions with them where I came away with the same impression without telling stories. So again, while I recognize that IDF has some good courses and has some bad courses, my impression of them as an organization is fairly negative. And then there was a couple of links here that I think were worth people taking a look at. Oh, and by the way, somebody here says they tried to claim that it was Denmark law or GDPR that didn't allow them to keep the certificates online anymore. And I believe I'm not familiar with Denmark law, but I know with GDPR, if you specifically give your information for them to use your name and information on the certificate, then that would not be in violation of GDPR. This person says, I'm a UX director. I'm not looking up people's certificates. And this one was interesting. This person said, few years ago, someone from there threatened a Reddit user. I'll let the screenshots speak for themselves. And that caught my eye, and I'd like to turn our discussion to that. So this is what, I'm in a private browser, so I'm just going to agree, and I'll zoom in. Oh, I can't zoom in. Let's see, can I zoom in on this? Okay, so this, of course, is what's her name, who I think runs or co-runs IDF, and they're trying to track down a Reddit user named Julian with a bunch of 8s. Hi, Julian, are you the user so-and-so Julian on Reddit? It's this user. So they're trying to figure out if they found the right person. Now you should see what they say next. So this is from the IDF to this Julian person, and it says, I urge you to use the golden rule. Do unto others what you want others to do to you. That rule has been the foundation of ethics in most cultures around the world since the dawn of humanity. With your comments, you hurt the IDF, our community, and me. You even do it in anonymity instead of standing by your words, I guess because they were Reddit posts. I've asked you if you think that's acceptable conduct, and you think it is. Now I will reverse the golden rule. If you think it's okay for you to anonymously write hurtful things about others, are you then okay with others doing the same to you? The reason I ask is that I spent quite a long time and money on hiring someone who could find and verify your identity. Once that was done, I asked an SEO guy how to make an anonymously written post about some of your work appear on Google's first search result page. That way, every time someone Googles your name, like your future employers, they will see some anonymous comments about your work. Are you okay with this? If yes, I'll go ahead. If not, please delete or edit your comment. Now, there's a lot to say about this, so I'm going to run a little bit late. In America, this person would probably be sued for extortion. Now, I'm not a lawyer, but I would say that that this is extortion. This basically is a pretty open threat that if you don't take a comment down from a public forum, we are going to anonymously write something negative and hurtful about you in an effort specifically and deliberately to hurt you. Now, one hopes that whatever this person wrote about the IDF was based on their experience with them, so that if this went to court and someone went to verify, are you saying this about this company because these are your true experiences? Hopefully the answer is yes, and that it's not just them committing libel. Again, I'm not a lawyer, but certainly libel, you can Google that. The definition being something that is written, that is usually false and is aimed at hurting someone's reputation. So you do not want to libel a company. I believe the difference between libel and slander is libel is written and slander is spoken. You never ever want to libel or slander a company. However, I don't believe there's any law against publicly, anonymously, or with your name on it, talking about negative experiences you have of a company, assuming they are real and not made up. They're not just libelous. You're not just making up lies to hurt somebody's business. You can be sued for that, certainly in America. So I think if we take a look at this, this is absolutely the bottom of the ethical barrel, short of Facebook being the bottom of the ethical barrel. So if you take a look at this, they are so on their high horse about doing unto others what you would want done to them. And then here they are threatening this person, extorting this person, and trying to ruin this person's reputation, because ultimately whatever they would end up posting on Google would have to be false, because they haven't worked with this person. They barely know who this person is. So if they posted something on somewhere, on a blog somewhere, to try to make this person look bad, that would be libel. That would be something false, specifically designed to hurt this person's reputation, employment possibilities, etc. Oh, Kayleen says, the way I remember libel and slander is libel and paper have the same number of letters, 5, and that's how you remember libel is written. Good one. I like that. So obviously there's nothing golden rule here about the IDF. This is really low level stuff. I mean, I've worked with some guys in the mafia in New York and they wouldn't do this. So I think, however, I do see, I've had some friends who got attacked by right-wingers, and this is the kind of thing that happened to them, where crazy made-up stuff was being posted about them so that it would rank well in Google. Sylvia says, I just saw one of Julian posts about IDF. He said he would never sign up to a school with a website designed the way it was designed. Not sure if there were more comments and he took them down. Well, sure. Again, not a lawyer, but I would say just from an American perspective, there's absolutely nothing illegal or inappropriate about posting publicly that you don't like somebody's website, and therefore you would choose not to do business business with them. If somebody, I mean, I've seen people hating me on Reddit. I'm sure Wilson's seen it too. I don't hang out on Reddit, but sometimes Wilson sends me stuff. People on Reddit make up stuff about me. They hate me. I had someone say, like, I'm so old school, I like conjoined triangles. I didn't even know what that was. I had to Google it, and then afterwards I still didn't know. So there's people on Reddit who hate me, make up stuff about me. I've just chosen to ignore it. If that makes people not interested in my channel, then I'm sorry, they're going to miss out on what we do here because they believed somebody's made up stuff about me. But I always hope that this channel will attract critical thinkers. So my thought is that if we attract the critical thinkers, they're not going to believe stuff like that. And it all works out in the end. So I think that seeing something like this definitely lowers my already low opinion of the IDF. And again, could the IDF now come after me because I'm broadcasting this on YouTube? I guess they could. But the problem here is that they've got this in writing. You know, one thing a good lawyer will tell you is never threaten somebody in writing. Because then when you do it, we have proof that you probably are committing extortion. Now, again, I'm not a lawyer. Now, there are times where you have to say to someone, look, you're doing something inappropriate and wrong, and if you don't stop it, we'll sue you. Okay, that works. But you wouldn't say, if you don't stop it, we're going to find a way to mess with your reputation on the entire internet so that it'll be hard for you to find a job in the future. So, yeah, that's not how you handle that. If someone is libeling you or slandering you and you believe it is hurting your reputation and it's not worth ignoring, hi, Olivia, it's not worth ignoring, then you get a lawyer and you start doing proper legal lawyery things. You do not threaten to post fake things, made up things about people to hurt them. This is absolutely unacceptable. So again, before I saw this, I had a negative impression of the IDF. When you ask me if I recommend their courses, I give the same answer every time. Some of their courses are good and some of their courses are not good. Stay away from design thinking courses. But as a business, I have had zero positive interactions with them, and I have had some negative interactions with them. And I recently had them remove me from their partner program, even though I was not utilizing it. I did not have links up because the links make people money. If you see an IDF link on a site, we make money from that. I don't use their link, but I was in the program because years ago I asked them to list one of my live training events, and I had to be in the partner program for them to list my training event. So it's just a long story there. Marisol says, IDF did that. I had no idea. Yeah, as far as I can tell, IDF did this. So now, just so you know, I didn't go and Google this further. Like, I didn't Google to see if this is happening often or happened to other people. But I do believe that this is unacceptable and inappropriate. And I wonder if we continue in this Reddit, if we're going to find that other people have other stories or screenshots. Somebody here says, I found something. Certificates are always valid, but you won't be able to access it, so just download it, and they're claiming it's the law in Denmark. So I don't know about that. So yeah. So thank you for talking about that. That was a discussion we had in our Slack channel, and I felt it was important to bring it up here, even though it is extending the length of the broadcast. I think it's something we need to say out loud, that there are companies who have some questionable ethics. I always mention Facebook because that's the most obvious one, but there are certainly other issues. Amazon has ethical challenges. Lots of companies have ethical challenges, and I think the IDF has their ethical challenges as well. I can't speak for anyone's experience, but we know we had Julia DeBari on the show. I think it was episode 104, talking about boot camps. She was working for IDF, and I think she quit a couple of weeks after that broadcast. She did not last there long, and you would have to ask her. But when people work at a place for a very short time and they weren't fired, I make some conclusions. Solomon says, anyone who disregards the merits of your arguments to attack your character, their subjective impression of your character isn't worth speaking with. This is just not the way you do it. And I come from America, where we're highly litigious. We will threaten to sue each other over everything. I could understand the IDF threatening to sue this person, but I also know that their case would probably not have any merit if whatever the person originally said were proven to either be factual or a fair opinion. So, for example, they couldn't post the IDF murders babies and sacrifices them to the god of blood. You would not be able to post that. Someone might tell you that that is libelous, that is giving people a bad impression of the IDF, and you should take it down. And then you should take it down, but you shouldn't have done it in the first place. So that's an example of something libelous that could affect a company's reputation and is false, probably, assumedly. They're probably not sacrificing babies. That's just my assumption, but I'm going to go with it because it seems like a fair assumption. So coming back to me on the big screen, remember that we are counting down on the giveaway for the information architecture book. So deltacx.link/giveaway. I'm going to pick a winner this weekend, so enter if you can have a book shipped. If you live in a place where Amazon ships books to, I know that's not everybody, and I apologize. I don't have a better way, especially in the pandemic. And so other than that, we'll be live on Monday talking about Google's UX course and planning some other streams. So everybody, please do join the Slack channel. We've recently added a whole bunch of new channels to the Slack workspace. So now it's much more organized and lots of places to talk about stuff. And we have lots of new members. So I hope everybody will hang out in the Slack channel. It is completely free, like most things I do, totally free. So we'll see everybody. Don't forget Monday, Google UX course, and Tuesday, Darren and Dr. Nick. And we'll take it from there. So thanks for hanging out on this reaction stream. I'm out of stuff to react to, so if you see anything interesting, send it during the week, and I will put it on the list for next Friday. I think I'm doing next Friday. Wait, or or am I speaking at a conference? Let me see. Friday. No, it's between two talks. Okay, see you soon. Everybody be well and have a good weekend. And wear masks, no matter what they say. Thanks. Bye.
Delta CX, available for CX and UX consulting, projects, and training. Contact us for a free consultation.